If you're not playing golf too well right now, then I've got to say that you've got my deepest sympathy. But the biggest problem is you have no idea why you're playing so poorly. You see, just a few weeks ago, you were hitting the ball beautifully, the game was perfect and golf was easy. So what went wrong? Well, the likelihood is something changed with the way you're swinging the club. And you'll make endless attempts to discover what the problem is. Now, if you've watched the channel lately, then most of you will know that my game has recently fell off a cliff. And today, I aim to find out why. This is hack motion, and in simple terms it identifies quite simply what is wrong with your swing, and it looks closely at backswing, the address position, the takeaway and also impact position. But it doesn't just identify what's wrong with your swing, it also provides information on how you can make corrections and start to improve. So how are we going to resolve these problems, and how is hack motion going to help? Well, quite simply, you put this device on your wrist, you hit 5 shots, and straight from that it will start to tell you where your problems lie, and it will also start to prioritize them in where the biggest issues are, so that we can focus and we can start to identify where our swing is falling down. Right, 5 shots hit, and what I get is a report on my current situation, and there's some positivity in there. There's some green, which indicates I'm doing things right. There's also some amber yellow warnings, which aren't too far away. And then there's some red, which highlights the sort of major issues that I perhaps need to look at and may be causing me the problems within the swing. Now, the inside takeaway is something that I struggle with quite a lot. And if I can just grab a club a second, what that generally means for me is I'll start to turn and bring the club head way back inside very early on. And it's something that hack motion identified as a problem with me in earlier sessions, and I've managed to rectify that. So +2 is not a major problem, and I'm going to move on a little bit down those tiles and look at 2 extended, because that's part of the downswing. And if I open up both of these screens, I will start to get an explanation as what that means, because let's be honest, 2 extended, what on earth does that mean for the majority of golfers? Well, I'm quite severely extended by +27 degrees, and that's a worry, but I don't know what it means, so I've got some extra information that hack motion provides. Extension is cupping, bending it backwards, i.e. when I'm at the top of that backswing. And this is the real bit that interests me. Extension mid-downswing opens the club face. And if you've seen with a lot of those shots, it was indicating a lot of green lights, which I'm thinking I'm doing well, but the ball is still fading out. So what I'm going to do now is take on a drill that hack motion suggests will help me rectify and start to learn how to get that hand or those hands into a better position, and let's see if we can make some difference in the end result. One other point before I start my drill is that there is further information within that screen, which is a video explanation as well. So there's all kinds of information that helps you fully understand what that feedback is, because without that understanding of what you do within the swing, we go back to the earlier intro to the video, you have no idea what you're doing wrong, and therefore it's almost impossible to try and rectify. So what you're going to see is me go through a drill, and the drill is really good. You start off with the sort of address position. Once you're there, you reach the top of your backswing. At that point, you will, in the first few swings at least anyway, realize where your wrist angles are, and in my case very much incorrect, if you like, outside of that area that is deemed to be acceptable. And you can see as you maneuver the hand around, you'll start to get a positive green light and a vibration to suggest you're within a window that hack motion finds acceptable. What you then do is then go into the first few swings are, they're not a swing, it's to the top of the backswing, and then you're starting to find your position, if you like. And then you'll be asked to complete the downswing. Now what that then throws in is a completely different feeling altogether. And we go to the drill that was, or a video rather, which was this motorcycle drill, an explanation of sort of revving the handle of a motorbike on the downswing and through impact. It's a very different sensation for me, but effectively it's going from what feels like a sort of, well, what should be now a neutral club face, and through impact we're sort of slowly closing it down, and I'm expecting to see, when a ball gets in there, maybe a change in shape, so maybe even more of a draw shape. But what's interesting for me personally is when I do these drills and I start to move the wrist around and start to understand the sort of path that I'm taking, and the motorcycle drill, I understand a very different sensation of swinging a golf club than one that I have got currently. But the fact remains, can I take that drill and those practice routines into actually hitting a golf ball? And then what I'm keen to see is, what does that do in terms of ball flight? Will it make a change? Will I stop fading that kind of weak one out to the right hand side? And will we see a different club path altogether and different end results? Oh wow, that's incredible, that, isn't it? First swing, the ball flight has gone way over to the left hand side. It's in a totally different kind of shape, but it was also a, what was the carry? Yeah, 152 8 iron, and I can't remember where we started off, but I've got a feeling it was more around the sort of 140 zone. You could tell it was a totally different contact. It's just a different ball flight altogether. I'm actually getting some ambers to say that I'm too extended. And I think, again, for me, a lot of the time it's kind of working with and understanding different elements and then progressing, because what will happen now is we'll see a different set of results, and it may well be that we've shifted to another area that's also potentially negative, and it's working between the two areas and understanding. And that's why I find it so intuitive as a device. I mean, that felt so good. I mean, you can see every ball is down the left hand side, whereas every ball I hit prior to this was leaking out down the right. So what we've seen is, what's interesting, I think we've hit a 154, 155 carry on the 3 shots I've hit. Real good launch angle. It's just a very, very different feeling altogether. And as I said at the beginning of this video, identifying what is wrong with your swing is often a big part. I've been losing a bit of distance. That's become with a kind of weaker fade shot. I've lost complete control of the club head, and just, I don't know what we are, 15 minutes in terms of real-time practice, and already Hack Motion has managed to identify problems that I can start to work on. Now, no one's kidding themselves. This isn't just an easy fix. We're going to walk out there and all of a sudden we're going to be shooting the lights out. This is all about practice. It's all about understanding the swing, and I think that's the key, is what Hack Motion does best, is it helps you understand the impact that you're having on the end result by doing certain things within your swing. And once you can start to grasp that, then you've got something to work with. Otherwise, you're just aimlessly hitting balls at the driving range, and really it's going to be so difficult for you to improve in any way. I'm going to carry on with this drill, the motorcycle drill as they call it, and we'll see what the end result is. But so far, hugely impressed with the results we've managed to get. That's another ball that's left of target, which for now I'm happy with, oddly enough, and it's something that I can certainly look to work with. Back in around that, not as good of a contact, that one, 148 carry, we've gained distance, we've changed ball flight, all within 15 minutes. Right, before I end things, I want to just go into one more addition on the Hack Motion app, and that is, they call it Thoughts, I think, yeah, Swing Thoughts. And this is basically taking, you've got your explanation of what the issue is, you then look at a drill, but you then get a few more other options that might resonate better into your brain, into your sort of swing thought process. It's just really interesting. Each of them is, there's a video to explain. I went into this kind of squeeze the elbows drill, which gives you sort of 60 seconds talk through, just squeezing the two elbows together to try and reduce the issue that was going on within my swing. And I've got to say, it had an immediate impact. The big deal with this is that, for me, I get asked to do reviews of all kinds of different products. And if I'm honest with you, 95%, probably 99% of the time, I refuse to do them. Hack Motion is the training device that has really made a genuine difference to my swing each time I come back to it. The problem from my perspective is I should be training more, I should be practicing more, and I should be practicing with Hack Motion. But it's a great sort of fallback as well to when things start to go off the rails a little bit. That sort of 20 minutes, half an hour I've just spent is probably the best ball striking I've had in terms of irons for the last couple of months. And it was all achieved within 15 to 20 minutes. So it's super intuitive. It really does work. And I think it's the best investment you'll ever make in terms of a training device. I think it retails in around 300 British pounds at the moment. So you could say it's a hefty investment, but it's exactly that. When people are buying drivers for 500 quid and yet think 300 quid for a training device that is this, or has this much impact on your game so quickly, then I think this is worth every penny. But that's just my thoughts. Like I said, it's incredibly good, incredibly intuitive, and I just need to spend more time working on my swing and see if I can just get these drills ingrained into what I do for when I get out there onto the golf course. Right, that's me done. As ever, thank you for watching. I hope there was something that you could take from it. I know it certainly helped me, and hopefully it might have helped you a little bit. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon.